Back live at Iowa Speedway, NASCAR Xfinity Series teams getting set to race for the 13th time here. But before we look ahead, let's go back. 8 days ago, Michigan International Speedway. And the story, Daniel Suarez. He had never won in his career, but he passed Kyle Busch, got the checkered flag, and everybody's talking about it.
Ahí está Daniel, está llegando a la línea. Daniel Suárez acaba de ganar para toda Latinoamérica. Cuelgan los cascos, hemos ganado historia. La primera carrera que gana un mexicano en NASCAR.
Gracias a todos por su apoyo. Gracias.
Y muchísimas felicidades por lo hecho este fin de semana. Memorable para ti y para todos los mexicanos.
What an awesome day it was for Daniel Suarez. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Welcome in here at Iowa Speedway with Michael Waltrip, Larry McReynolds. I'm Adam Alexander. Safe to say that's one we're not going to forget, Larry.
And in Mexico, Daniel Suarez, he is a rock star. After that win, it became the biggest news story in Mexico. Not the biggest sports story, but the biggest news story. And talking to him before qualifying second, I think he might could make it 2 in a row.
I don't think so, Larry. I think Eric Jones, our pole sitter, wins this race. But I got some breaking news. He's being sent to the rear. He's going to start from the back along with 2 of his other competitors. They've made illegal body modifications. NASCAR police cited them and are sending them to the rear. That's going to mix things up today.
Those other drivers dropping to the back for unapproved body modifications. Couple of guys that I would think would be favorites. Elliott Sadler won here in 2012, and Brad Keselowski, who's been to victory lane here on 3 different occasions. What about that duo?
I like those cars, especially Sadler. There's a lot of talk down in the garage area about how fast that car is, and he likes this track. He's won here before. So we're going to have a great race. We've talked about the groove being on the bottom, but those guys aren't going to have any choice but to run all over this 7/8 mile racetrack. A lot of action, a lot of passing.
And a competition caution at lap 40 today. Going to add to the mix of strategy. We'll tell you why coming up. First, we're going trackside to get the command of fire engines here at Iowa Speedway.
Race fans, please welcome today's Grand Marshal, board member of Absolute Energy and Big River Resources, Chris Schwartz, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
That'll fire you up in corn country. Green flag when we continue. We're going from the driver's seat live on FS1. Very appropriate for our location, live at Iowa Speedway, getting ready for our 3rd short track race of the year. The first for Alex Bowman. He starts 9th. Let's go from the driver's seat with a fella from Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, see if we can get a word with them. Hey, Alex Bowman, it's Michael Waltrip and America's crew chief Larry McReynolds up in the FS1 booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, it's hot today. We know that. On a short track, are you worried with your limited amount of starts about how the heat will affect you physically? Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'll be all good. I'm sure all my friends back home watching on the Xfinity app are laughing at you for that one. They're probably saying that I'm going to get hot and tired, but no, it's 250 laps. We'll be just fine. It's going to be a hot, slick day, but everybody at JRM has built a really good race car. We unloaded really well, and I think we're going to be strong all day.
Alex, this is Larry Mack. Now, you speak about the heat inside the race car, but it's been 2 days since you've realistically made any practice in that 88 car. Do you anticipate having to move the groove around on this 7/8 mile track, looking for that ultimate grip?
Yeah, I think we're going to be moving around a lot. The truck race didn't get up as high as I would have thought it would, but I think these Xfinity cars with less total downforce are going to have to look for mechanical grip a little bit more than the trucks had to. So we'll be running all over the place. We were up there in practice, and don't want to be one of the first ones up there, but we'll definitely be up there eventually.
Well, I know on Race Hub you did not pick me as your favorite crew chief, but good luck, and we'll maybe check in with you a little later in the race.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think I had the option to pick you. my stack of cards didn't have your emoji, but thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun watching you. And tell your friends not to laugh at me. I'm serious up here.
I think somebody's bitter, Larry. Huh?
No, not at all.
Let's go with our pit headlines. Everything you need to know before we go green. We start with Hermie Sadler. What's up, Hermie?
Well, Adam, Brad Keselowski is winless in the 2016 Xfinity Series, as is Team Penske number 22. But if there's a racetrack they think they could turn it around, Iowa Speedway. Brad has 3 wins here, including his last 2 starts at this racetrack. The good news is he was the fastest car in 10-lap averages. The bad news is he'll start from the back. Chris Neville?
Hermie, when you think about the challenges of this race today, Eric Jones going to have a little bit of a heavier burden with this being Father's Day. But he started the weekend right. He was strong in practice, and he grabbed his 6th pole in his rookie season. He said the key to winning this race, it's going to be working through a hot track, searching for grip, staying ahead of those adjustments, and hopefully honoring his father with a win. Adam?
Thank you so much, Chris. We look forward to watching Eric as he comes from the back today. One of those drivers penalized for improper body modifications. Now we take a closer look at the stat line for Daniel Suarez in his last 4 races. You know, he's racing like a champion, brought to you by Just for Men, original formula. The big one, the last one, Victory Lane 8 days ago. And we talked about it earlier. Competition caution at lap 40. Larry, tell us why.
Yeah, last night after the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, NASCAR, they do a track walk, and they found this patch you're looking at right there down in turn 3 and 4. It was about 4 foot long, about 10 inches wide. Obviously, they had to repair it, work till 2 o'clock this morning. They feel good about it, but just to make sure, we're going to have that competition caution at lap 40 where they can just take a look at it.
There you can see 3 of our top 7 drop into the rear of this field. Elliott Sadler there, Brad Keselowski, along with pole sitter Eric Jones. Brendan Gaughan to the rear also. He had a brake issue yesterday during qualifying, and this is going to make it really interesting as they race toward this competition caution. How much ground can they make? What kind of grooves they have to use to get there?
Eric Jones would have been the control car at the start because he won the pole. He drops to the rear. Daniel Suarez now becomes the control car. Everybody else on that inside lane moves forward, putting Sam Hornish Jr., the 3rd car from Joe Gibbs, on the front row with his teammate Suarez. This team has been incredible in qualifying this year, and it's going to be a 1-2 finish for the coach, even with the pole sitter dropping to the rear. 1-2 start up there for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Because of the way this happened to the rear, Alex Bowman, we just spoke with him. He qualified 9th. He's going to start this race in 3rd on the inside of the 2nd row.
And NASCAR going to go green anyway. Pace car is off. Inside lane, Sam Hornish Jr. in for Matt Tifft. Had a back issue earlier this week. Daniel Suarez outside lane. We're green at Iowa. See Allgaier get up behind him, trying to give him a little push in that outside lane, that bright orange 7.
Hornish in that 18 car hasn't raced in NASCAR since last November. Talking about getting right in the heat. Sideways off turn 4. He's going to need a push from Ben Kennedy in the 2 car. Ben qualified up front, fast in practice on Friday. Great debut in the Xfinity Series so far for Kennedy.
Yeah, you think about Sam Hornish Jr., as you mentioned, he hadn't been in a race car this year, and Ben Kennedy making his first start in the series, and here they are up there battling at the front.
And look at Kennedy, makes it work on the high side. He's able to clear Allgaier. That's a great move.
Keep our eye on those cars that had to drop to the rear. 3 that qualified inside the top 7. Our pole sitter Eric Jones, Elliott Sadler, and Brad Keselowski.
Ryan Segan, the 39, just clears Jeremy Clements. J.J. Leary in the 44. That's some good racing back in the pack, but Justin Allgaier wants that 3rd spot away from Ben Kennedy.
Allgaier hasn't been here in a while. Spent those years at the Sprint Cup level. Obviously, Cup cars don't race here at Iowa. And I'm guessing this track has changed quite a bit since his last visit.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Adam. I was talking to Justin, and he said the winters here must be harsh because this track doesn't have near the grip, and it's much more bumpy than I remember it. So it's been certainly a challenge to get adjusted to the surface.
Hey, you're riding with Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 6th car. He was trying Brandon Jones in that yellow 33 on the inside. Brandon went to the bottom. Now Darrell Wallace is trying the outside.
I like what I'm seeing, Larry. You can see Bubba's making some ground up there.
Been a good track for Bubba Wallace. Made his career debut here driving for Joe Gibbs back in 2012. Can he get that position? Yes. The 6 up to 7th. That's Brandon Jones behind him in the 33. Then it's the other car from the Roush Fenway organization, the 16 of Ryan Reed, looking for his first top 10 of the year.
Alex Bowman trying to get to the inside of Ben Kennedy. I just think that this 88 car could have something to say about who wins this race today. His practice times were awesome. He debuted at Dover this year for junior, and he led that race and ran in the top 3, finished 3rd. So this kid's got a lot of talent, and he's got a great opportunity getting to drive for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I know some guys dropped to the back, but Bowman 9th to 5th here in the first 6 laps. And speaking of those guys that went to the rear, Eric Jones already up to 18th. If he could get up knocking on the door of the top 10 before this competition caution, I'd say you'd consider that a huge success,
He'll
right?
be in the top 10 before we get to lap 20.
Eric's used to starting in the back.
Yeah, he's accustomed to it here, right?
Every time he's come here, he started from the rear and driven to the front, and that's what he's going to do today.
Now, the last 2 times, because he was running a truck somewhere, unable to qualify the car, and each time he was able to drive his way inside the top 10. In fact, finished 3rd in this race 1 year ago when Drew Herring piloted the machine. Speaking of Herring, he's in the race today. Right now riding in the 10th position. On board as we look at the battle for 4th. Bowman inside of Ben Kennedy.
It's so good to see.
Coming back with a small rush. Back at your door.
That second groove working this early in the race. It looks like the bottom groove will eventually prevail, but Ben Kennedy's not going away up there in that second groove.
Whoa.
You're right there, man. Right on you.
Ben Kennedy cut Bowman a break there. Alex needed that space, and I think Ben decided to roll off the gas instead of contact. And you know, Larry, early in the race, that's what you want to see. If a guy gets to crowd you a little bit, just give him a break, but remember it. And later in the race, return that favor.
Eric Jones continues his climb. You said top 10 by lap 20. Well, he's up to 14th right now, and we're working lap 11. I'd say he's doing a nice job.
I think the biggest thing his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, needs to tell him, just be patient. You got one of the fastest cars out there.
His teammates up front. That's Daniel Suarez. Behind him, it's Hornish, Allgaier, Bowman, Kennedy, the top 5 at Iowa.
Father's Day's coming up. I just want to give a shout out to my dad. He's been there for me for a long time, stood behind me through everything that I've done. We've had a lot of great memories together.
He's the reason I'm in racing. He used to race. I grew up watching him, and he was definitely my racing idol growing up.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you. Thanks for being the greatest dad ever.
I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It's the family sport. Happy Father's Day.
And we extend our Father's Day wishes to those of you watching at home today with Michael Waltrip, Larry McReynolds. I'm Adam Alexander. 17 laps in here at Iowa. Daniel Suarez has led them all. Company from behind, that's his teammate Sam Hornish Jr. And the other car from Joe Gibbs Racing, Eric Jones, qualified on the pole, started at the back, 17 laps in, running 11th, Chris.
Yeah, boy, Eric Jones having a good run night round. You guys said that he was here last year, but the thing is his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, this is his first time here, and I spoke with Chris about that. He said, you know, it's kind of tough being a crew chief coming someplace for the first time, but I really do a lot more studying. I went through all the run logs from the other teams, just trying to find any nuances I could. And Eric Jones having a good run here today, doing really well, getting off the corner.
Adam just passed the guy that qualified the car for him here last year, Drew Herring, officially lap 19, Jones in the top 10, Larry.
I know we've been focused on Eric Jones in the 20, but I want to give credit to a couple other drivers that started back there with him. Adam, you mentioned it at the top of the show. Elliott Sadler in that 1, he's already up to 13th, and Brad Keselowski in the 22, he's right in tow behind him.
And Larry McReynolds, what would the crews have done to those cars? We heard body modification. They're just trying to gain aerodynamic downforce by pulling on fenders. Is that what you suspect?
It's the same thing going in all the series right now. They pull out those quarter panels in front of those rear tires, creates a little front rear downforce, and I just think Wayne Auten and the group of NASCAR, they're trying to make a statement. We're not going to tolerate it. They did it yesterday with Drew Herring in that 24 car.
Looking inside.
How impressive is Sam Hornish Jr.? Hasn't been in a car this year, and he's trying to take the lead from last week's winner, Daniel Suarez, right down on the bottom of the track, but that traffic's going to play havoc with this move.
Hornish won here in 2014 driving for Joe Gibbs. That's when he took the races that Kyle Busch wasn't driving in that 54 car. Opportunity came this weekend to come compete. He's answered the bell. Fast in practice, qualified in the top 5, and trying to get the lead away from Suarez.
I definitely think lap traffic kept him from getting the lead right there. If they can clear this group right here, he may go up there and just take this lead away.
And just think about the experience and the knowledge Sam Hornish has behind the wheel. He's not going to push this issue. He knows he is better than Daniel Suarez right now. He's going to try to make the pass. He wants to get that 18 car out front. But I think he'll give space to Suarez.
Understands his teammates running for a championship. Very patient in trying to make the pass, but there he goes. Off of turn 2. Hornish up in front of Suarez, put the 18 P1.
I love that. And, you know, when we've watched Daniel Suarez, he's a long-run guy. He seems to do better when the tires get wore out and the cars start slipping and sliding. That's how he was able to capitalize on winning Michigan last week, that long run to the checkered flag. So that makes that move by Hornish that much more impressive because of the history that Suarez has shown.
We said Hornish was being patient. Eric Jones, maybe not so much. He wants to get by fellow rookie Brandon Jones here.
He may get to the top 5 before the competition costs him, because right now that's a battle for 8th.
Other cars in the top 5 behind Hornish and Suarez, Allgaier, Bowman, and Kennedy. Then you've got Ty Dillon, Bubba Wallace. This battle for 8th. Eric Jones inside of Brandon Jones. Won't be long before the 20's got another position. There it is.
There's nothing good about being sent to the rear of the field, but I guess when you know a caution is coming at this lap, that kind of helps your strategy. He didn't have to save nothing. He knows that caution's coming at lap 40, which is about 14 laps from now.
There you mentioned it. The other guys that dropped to the rear, moving forward as well. The 1 of Elliott Sadler, the 22 of Brad Keselowski. They are 13th and 14th on track. And here's Elliott's teammate, Justin Allgaier. Tight quarters in lap traffic.
That's when you hope the spotters are on their game doing the job, because he threaded the needle there. A couple of lap cars side by side. He said, I don't have time to wait around for this. Charges through the middle.
You know, the short tracks, that's been his best runs this year. You know, a great run at Bristol. Was going for the win at Richmond when he got caught up in that late race accident.
I like this. A couple of veterans that have won here. Brad Keselowski, 3 victories. Elliott won here in 2012. What's up, Hermie?
Well, Adam, it's obvious the 22 and the 1 not quite as good as the 20 of Eric Jones, but an impressive run to the front nevertheless. Brad Keselowski just passing Elliott Sadler, but until that point, the 1 was making the holes, the 22 following through. Now, both of their cars are very similar. Free on entry, need more rear grip all through the center of the corner and on exit. These cars looking forward to getting to pit road and try to tie the back ends down on the racetrack.
Also discussed Brendan Gaughan, who had to drop to the rear, up 20 positions early. Not a bad start for Ross Chastain either. He, too, started at the back. At the front, it's Sam Hornish Jr. 5 laps away from the competition caution. We will get at lap 40. There you see the top 5. Sam Hornish Jr., Daniel Suarez, Justin Allgaier, Alex Bowman, Ben Kennedy. The story we've been following, Eric Jones, our pole sitter, dropped to the back. Unapproved body modifications. Where are they at with a few laps to go before they come down pit road, Chris?
Well, Adam, Eric Jones experienced some issues with his car right now. About 3 laps ago, he told his crew chief that I've got a fuel pressure issue coming off the corners. I'm losing a lot of the fuel pressure. The team trying to figure out what they can do, and Jones saying it's progressively getting worse, but the team also telling him your times still look good right now. We've got to caution you just a couple laps. We'll try and figure something out.
And just to clear up, the Xfinity Series, they don't have electronic fuel injection. They don't have that ECU box. They still run the cable-driven fuel pump.
Brad Keselowski, 13th right now. 14th, Drew Herring. And when they were racing for that real estate, things got a little tight here.
Watch Elliott Sadler. He takes advantage of that, gets back around Keselowski, who had passed him, and then Herring slides up the racetrack, and Keselowski gives him a little shot.
I don't know that they've had an agreement, and I know this place isn't like Daytona and Talladega, but the 22 and 1 have been hooked up coming from the rear today, haven't they?
They have. It's been impressive to watch them drive to the front just like Eric Jones. And also, you got to tip your cap to Ross Chastain. His problem for going to the rear was a track car issue they had to fix. It wasn't a body modification for him and his team. He's driven up inside the top 25. He's running 23rd. Oh, issues.
Yeah, this is Eric Jones. Competition caution, not yet out. This would be an unscheduled pit stop. So whatever those issues are, Chris, they must have gotten worse and felt like they couldn't wait any longer.
That's right, Adam. He's saying he's got no power right now. So just, he said, no fuel pressure. The car is running, but it has no fuel pressure. So that car just stumbling right now. Bringing it to pit lane, see if they can try and do to fix it.
Yeah, it's a shame it would not go for another half a lap, or he'd be able to at least be on pit road during this caution. So he's going to go at least one lap down, if not more now.
Now he's already lost a lap, being shown outside the top 30 on our scoring monitor right now. First car one lap down, B.J. McLeod in the 78. He will get the free pass here on our competition caution. Top 5, Hornish, Suarez, Allgaier, Bowman, and Kennedy. And undoubtedly, everybody comes here, gets 4 tires, and fills it up, huh?
Yeah, they have 4 sets of Goodyear tires laying in the pits, started to race on one, and I watched the scoring monitor. The pace had slowed down about a second and a half.
Pit road is closed. We'll step aside, have pit stops when we return on FS1.
How's it going? Hi. Today we're going to be comparing the roll-formed high-strength steel bed of the Chevy Silverado to the aluminum bed of this competitor's truck. Awesome. All right, let him drop. Let's see how the aluminum bed of this truck held up.
Oh, wow. That's a good-sized puncture.
That's all the way through, for sure.
Full-on crack here.
If you're aluminum now, you're gonna go, ooh. Let's check out the Silverado steel bed.
Wow. Yeah, a couple dents.
I'd expect more dents.
Chevy clearly held up better than the Ford.
Under caution, 42 laps in at Iowa for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This is a competition caution for a repair they made to the racetrack over in turn 3, and we know that it may be a couple of laps before they open pit road here. NASCAR wanted to make sure the track was in good condition before they sent everybody down the pit lane.
Well, that way, you know, if they let you see them here checking that patch, they finished this work about 2 o'clock this morning, but they felt like let's check it first before we open pit road, because if it's in trouble and we put brand new good sticky Goodyear tires on these cars, it's just going to make the process even worse. So let's check it first.
The inspection didn't take long. I've got to believe that's a good thing, right?
I think that's a great thing. And the track and NASCAR did a great job of recognizing the issue. That inspection took place after the truck race last night, so nice job.
Safety truck pulls away, green light goes on, signifying that pit lane is open. And everybody's going to come down, get service here. Hermie Sadler, you're up first.
Well, Adam, Darrell Wallace Jr. needs more overall grip. They're going to put 4 tires on the 6, lower the track bar on the right side, 4 tires and fuel. Now the 88 of Alex Bowman, he's hitting his pit stall. 4 tires, no changes. Sticker tires now instead of 3-lap scuffs. Chris Neville.
And Justin Allgaier said they really worked on long runs in practice, paying off right now. He said the car a little bit too loose getting into turn 1. He can't really commit to the throttle getting off 4. Your leader, Sam Hornish Jr., happy with his race car, but as that run went along, he said, I just can't get into that throttle hard cutting off corner. Track bar adjustment on the 18.
Good battle off pit road. They pit all the way through turn 1 here at Iowa. And they flip-flop at the front. Suarez wins the battle. Hornish is second. The others coming off the pit lane. Allgaier and Bowman right behind them. This afternoon, we're in Corn Country, NASCAR Xfinity Series. Next Sunday, it's Wine Country, the Toyota Save Mart 350, first road course event of the year for NASCAR Sprint Cup teams. We're on the air 1:30 Eastern here on FS1. You can watch the coverage on Fox Sports Go.
Now, what was going to be in good shape for Eric Jones of the 20, because he pitted and they changed the 4 tires plus fixed the fuel pressure problem, but they fueled the car. In the rule, you cannot fuel the car before the competition caution. So really, had they not fueled the car, he'd have been in position for a wave around, but now he's not because he has to go to the rear of the field to restart, fueling before the competition caution.
Okay, crew chief, how'd you fix my fuel pressure so fast?
I have no idea, because they only lost the one lap, and they really lost that about the time they came to pit road. I'm sure we'll find out.
I'm interested to hear the answer to that.
Jones being scored 31st right now, and he's the 7th car in line when you talk about drivers 1 lap down as he tries to get up there in the free pass position. And here we are exiting pit road. Really tight there for Allgaier and Hornish. A little contact between those two.
Well, I think that was just a situation there where Hornish adjusted his pit road speed. He slowed down so he didn't go too fast in that segment, and Allgaier was right on and made some contact.
Suarez won the race off pit road. He's the control car, chooses the inside lane. Hornish goes from the outside. We restart, completing lap 47.
Well, we've checked a couple of boxes for Daniel Suarez, and this was one that I've been interested in. His restarts haven't been on top. He hasn't been on top of his game for those throughout the year. We talked about his ability to have a good car on the long run. He took advantage of that at Michigan and won the race. Now he's 2 for 2 starting up front, grabbing that lead. So you talk about confidence and how momentum is gained when you do good things. That's what's happening here.
He led those first 28 laps. As you said, had a great start to the race. Good restart here. But it appeared maybe he started to fall off. Hornish started to gain. I'm sure they probably made an adjustment trying to help the handling of that 19 over the long haul.
Yeah, and also, Adam, it's just going to continue to get hotter, and that track temperature is going to elevate as well, and that means these cars are going to slip and slide more. So while they have to make adjustments about addressing what the car was doing, they also have to predict what the track is going to do with those adjustments, because it's going to change.
Battle here among teammates. Ty Dillon, Ben Kennedy, that's left of your screen. Over on the right, Brad Keselowski, the one of Elliott Sadler. Both drivers starting at the back have now worked their way inside the top 10.
In both of their crews gave them a really nice, solid 4-tire pit stop under that caution.
Keselowski looking inside of Brandon Jones. That would be for 8th. You get in the top 5 by lap 75 or 100, you're right back in the game and where you need to be to have a chance to win this thing.
Look at Sadler. He's going to peek on the inside of Brad Keselowski. I love the one car. He's got really good traction up off the corner, and that's how you run well here at Iowa. It's really difficult to turn in the center right there and have acceleration up off where your tires don't spin, but it looks like that one car is being able to accomplish that.
Updating Eric Jones, restarted 31st. He's now 24th, but more importantly at this stage, first car 1 lap down. He needs a caution, then he too would have a chance to make a rally.
But it's going to be a long day for Eric Jones and his crew chief, Chris Gabehart. Our Chris Neville was sharing with me they don't have a fuel pressure problem till the fuel cell gets about 30% down. So what fixed it right there, it's the reason they had to fuel the car, is filling it back up, which tells me they have a pickup issue in the fuel cell.
So they need a bunch of short runs, keeping the car fueled, right? I mean, that's the only way around that.
Boy, that's going to be tough, because you think about it, you only have 3 more sets of tires laid in your pits too.
23 cars on the lead lap right now. The advantage for Suarez out front, half a second in front of Hornish. And Alex Bowman, got to pay him off. Outstanding start to the day for the kid out of Arizona. Rolled off 9th, worked his way up to 3rd. Slowly making his presence known.
He's a kid you're going to have to pay off for the rest of his career, because he can drive, and he's going to get a chance to show people how good he is behind the wheel of this car for Junior Motorsports, and you can't hide the talent that he has, and it's so fun to see kids get these opportunities and take advantage of them.
Brad Keselowski working that outside lane around Brandon Jones. Going to bring Elliott Sadler with him.
Elliott said, how about that line? Elliott sort of led Brad up through the traffic earlier, and now Brad's returning the favor.
But you talking about young talent, I think we're going to be talking about Brandon Jones driving that 33 car for a long time to come. He's only 19 years old.
Ran the truck race here last night, finished 17th, but that number deceiving when you consider that he was running up front late, had to make a pit stop. And now the battle for the race lead.
Sam says, hello, Daniel, I'm back. This 18 car and the performance that Hornish is putting in here is just amazing to me. I mean, the last time he was in a car was last November. Said he got a call from Joe Gibbs Racing He asked his wife, can we race on Father's Day? And she said that would be awesome. And this family's here, and they're enjoying a great weekend.
210 days since he last competed, but let's also give credit to his crew chief, Chris Gale. Already won with 2 different drivers this season. And there goes the 18, Sam Hornish Jr. back in the lead at Iowa.
Yeah, this is a repeat of that first run. Suarez has the short run speed. Sam Hornish Jr. at 18, the long run speed.
But that first run, Suarez was out there for 28 laps. This time, only 9 circuits out front before Hornish got him.
Yeah, and think about the athlete that Hornish has to be. He hasn't been in a car in 210 days.
Brake to it if you need to.
We know
outside, outside, clear. If you need to, Daniel, turn the knob to put more front brake to it.
All right, it sounds like Daniel Suarez in the 19 is fighting maybe a loose end. They're telling him to crank some front brake into it, help the entrance of the corner.
59 laps complete at Iowa. Hornish, Suarez, Bowman, Allgaier, Darrell Wallace Jr. your top 5. Shots there of fathers and their sons on this Father's Day from Iowa Speedway. And as we arrived this weekend, couldn't help but be thinking about Eric Jones. Lost his dad less than 2 weeks ago, and honoring him last weekend at Michigan again this week when he won a late model race. We continue to send our prayers to the Jones family. They passed away at age 53, and thinking about them.
And there's not a race car driver out there that would be out there if it weren't for their dads. You have to have that kind of support, and it's a special day, I know, for a lot of these racers.
Saw a picture there of Darrell Wallace Jr. and his father. He's been hot on track. Started 12th, running 5th. It's hot inside the car, too, huh?
Look at that. You know, I started to talk about Sam Hornish Jr. It's been months since last November, since he's been in a car. That's when you have to be an athlete. That's when you have to be on the sideline like a backup quarterback. Know the plays, understand the sport, be in great physical condition. When your number is called, you can come to the game and play at this level. This is impressive because of all the factors that go into what Hornish is being able to accomplish right now.
And Chris, right now, race kind of has a long run feel. That appears to be their strength.
Yeah, it really is right now, because you're talking that long run. He's already thinking about short run near the end of this race, saying that on that last restart, it took him about 5 or 6 laps before he felt like the front end was really grabbing the road. So already talking about what adjustments can we do for the end of the race if we have restarts.
Teammates doing battle here. Brandon Jones around Ben Kennedy.
Now I'm thinking about Sam Hornish Jr.'s teammate Eric Jones at 20 right now. He's the first driver a lap down, but if we stay under this condition of green flag run, I'm going to say in the next 10 laps, that fuel cell's going to be low enough, he's going to be fighting fuel pressure problems again.
And it won't be long before Sam catches up with the 78 of B.J. McLeod, currently the last car on the lead lap. You put him a lap down, you take Eric out of that free pass position. Haven't mentioned this name a lot today, Brennan Poole, but he's starting to slowly work his way toward the top 10.
Yeah, and that's not surprising. He's just a very consistent, steady racer. And you're right, Adam, the first quarter of this race, he just didn't have much speed, it didn't look like. Good pit stop, an adjustment, and now he's going to town.
Yeah, he was on the verge of going a lap down before that competition caution came, but evidently Chad Norris, that crew, they made the right adjustments on this 48 car.
You can hear him trying to work that gas down. This track is so cool in the respect that you just can't just nail it. You've got to work your throttle. You've got to work your hands. You've got to bounce over the bumps to be able to get a good lap time in.
Sam Hornish Jr. working over the lap machine of Mario Gosling. He's already 1 lap down. That's to put the 90 car 2 laps in arrears. Second, Daniel Suarez. The advantage now 1 second between the race leader and his teammate. Mentioned earlier, good ride for Alex Bowman. Started 9th. Driver from Junior Motorsports has worked his way to 3rd. This team has won twice this year, including our last short track with Dale Jr. Justin Allgaier hasn't been here in a while. Solid effort for him. He's 4th. And then there's Bubba Wallace in the top 5 at a track that's been really good to him, Hermie.
And Adam, really solid race car for the 6 today. Last time down pit road, they made a track bar adjustment to give him more grip, especially right here on this entry down into turn 1. The theme this entire green flag run has been save your tires. And that caused Bubba to bag up the corner, let off a little bit earlier to let the car roll into the corner and get a good run off the corner. He started running faster lap times. So right now, good spot on the racetrack for Darrell Wallace and a good race car as well.
This has definitely been one of his best racetracks. 4 starts, worst finish, 11th in the Xfinity Series.
And Hermie said, save your tires. We're right now a third of the way through a fuel run. It's going to be a long time before these guys are back on pit road. Laps shy of lap 100 here at Iowa Speedway. We take a look at our Ford Performance track facts. Ford's been great at Iowa, winning 8 of the 12 times we've been here. And they've swept 3 of the 5 seasons at Iowa. That's not bad. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. made a living here. Brad Keselowski's been good here. And Eric Jones back on pit road under green, Chris.
And that was pretty much as scheduled. I think we were about 30 laps into that run. Eric Jones coming over the radio saying, guys, it's stumbling again. It's starving for fuel. So came down pit lane, filled it up.
And if you notice, they couldn't put tires on. They only have 3 more sets. But if I do the math right, with 166 laps to go, he's going to have to make 3 more stops just to put fuel in that car. Again, cable-driven fuel pump. It has a pickup that's normally down in the right rear corner of the fuel cell at the bottom. Something's going on with that pickup. When the fuel cell gets about a third low, it's not picking up fuel anymore. The fix, fill it up with fuel.
Yeah, the fix would be some timely cautions, but he didn't catch one there.
And he had just been put in a situation where he was no longer the free pass car. The problem had gotten to where they couldn't deal with it any longer. Makes his pit stop. Eric Jones now 30th, 3 laps down to our race leader, Sam Hornish Jr. What about this group?
I've been watching this battle. It's pretty amazing. Blake Cook drove right up on the back of Herron, gave him a little bump in the back and got around the outside of him, and they've caught Jeremy Clemens. These guys are racing for the 16th position. Just ahead of them is Ryan Sieg and J.J. Yaley. So a spot in the top 15 is what lies up ahead for these guys. And look at the different grooves they're running. I love this racetrack. I love the fact that they can spread it out and try to find grip. That's what they're starving for right now, Adam. Those tires sticking to the road.
Kind of got to use your imagination as a driver when you come to this place.
Well, you use your imagination and you use your spotter. If your spotter reports that some guys found something up top, got something going on in a groove you haven't been in, you've got to go search it out. Talked about the Fords running good here. Brad Keselowski around Ty Dillon for the 6th spot. Just ahead of him is Bubba Wallace.
You know, we're sticking with the Father's Day theme. We actually talked to Tony Clemens, Jeremy Clemens' dad, yesterday during that qualifying session. Talk about dads making a difference in a driver's career. Tony is Jeremy's crew chief and builds the engines for that 51 car.
But during the week, he's building engines for late model drivers all across the South. So he's kind of bivocational. On the weekends, he's a crew chief for his kid. During the week, he's building those engines. And this team really does a nice job. Great run earlier this season, Michael, at Talladega.
Yeah, top 5. That was amazing. And just the effort, the passion, the desire. Father and son down there turning the wrenches on that car. RepairableVehicles.com is a sponsor on the side of it. Their sponsors stepped up on Friday. Jeremy says, I think we can go really fast. We had some new tires. Bought him a set of tires. He put that thing up in the top 5.
Here's another guy we'd love to celebrate, Ryan Sieg in that 39. Done a lot of positive things in 2016. On the back bumper of the 62 of Brendan Gaughan, Hermie.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about the 1 and the 22 starting in the back and making their way to the front. The 62 of Brendan Gaughan had a similar fate. They broke a brake line after the first round of qualifying yesterday. Had to repair that. That was an unapproved adjustment or repair. He also started in the back. Has been trying to make his way to the front with a loose race car. They made a wedge adjustment last time down pit road. Looking forward to another stop and more adjustments on the 62.
Gaughan's hanging around 13th. Hasn't had a lot of movement since he got inside the top 15. Sam Hornish Jr. has led 55 of 92 laps here at Iowa. Back at Iowa under caution for the 2nd time today, Ryan Preece Had an issue in turn 4. There you see the damage. Now we take a look at what happened.
Yeah, you look up at the top of the screen. It looked like he just blew a right front tire exiting turn 4. You can see there the red car. Normal exit to the turn, and look, late, just abruptly into the outside wall. And he's having a good run. He was on the lead lap in the 21st position, just behind his teammate Ross Chastain, who's charged from the back like Brendan Gaughan and some of the other guys we've talked about. So it was a good run. Unfortunately, it's over.
Good break for his teammate, Ross Chastain. He was the last car on the lead lap, and Eric Jones in the garage.
That's a fuel cell right there. This right here, what they're going to do, they're going to change that entire fuel cell out and see if they can rectify this fuel sensor problem. The other person I think that benefits from this caution, Chris Neville was telling me, or Hermie Sadler actually, during commercial, Elliott Sadler in that one was starting to feel a bad vibration in the right front, so probably timely caution for Elliott Sadler.
Elliott started at the back, 8th under this, our second caution. Free pass, going to go to the 28 of Dakota Armstrong. He's 21st right now. Pit stops under caution. Second trip of the day, Hermie.
Good run in that segment for Darrell Wallace. In the 6th, they're going to put 4 tires, fuel. Looking for more forward drive on the 6th. They'll make an adjustment. The 88 of Alex Bowman. His car was too tight at the beginning of that run. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and a track bar adjustment on the 88. Chris Neville.
And Justin Allgaier saying that they went the wrong direction on that last stop, saying the car just way too loose, too edgy, especially down into turn 1. Sam Hornish overall pretty happy with his race car. That last stop, though, they did lose 1 position in pit lane. And remember, Sam hasn't done a pit stop since November of last year.
And the 18, going to lose a spot again. Daniel Suarez, 2 for 2, winning the battle off the pit road. How about +5 for Elliott Sadler? It was a 4-tire stop for driver 1. Sam Hornish Jr. has led the most laps today. He'll restart second. His crew chief, Chris Gale, doing an outstanding job. So who is this guy? Joe Gibbs Racing from Arkansas, loves the Razorbacks, enjoys his animals. He's a family guy, got a youngster at home, and oh yeah, he's pretty good on the pit box. 13 victories with 4 different drivers and looking to make it 14-5 today, Chris.
Boy, definitely good on the pit box, strong again today. But Chris, just listening to Sam after that last pit stop, lost another position in pit lane, and he was apologizing to you guys. What's he doing wrong in pit lane?
It's not really that he's doing anything wrong. He's just kind of a little rusty, so he's a little slow getting into the box, a little slow down pit road, and then also we need to pick it up on pit road. Our stop was a little slow too, so we just need to do a little of both, and we'll be fine. Got a really good car here, and it'd be nice to, in his one event for us, take him to victory lane.
Thanks, Chris.
Here's what's really interesting about Hornish. When he comes back here later this year, he'll be driving the 2-car for Richard Childress Racing. That deal was already in place prior to the opportunity coming in the 18.
And he's pitting right on a scoring loop. So that means the 7 pit boxes leading to his pits, they're kind of free. You can't get caught speeding in that segment.
And how happy are you if you're Richard Childress watching this guy go like he's going, knowing he's going to drive your car when you come back in the fall?
Restart as we complete lap 103. Hornish on the outside of race leader Daniel Suarez. Keep an eye on Elliott Sadler. Best position for him today. Restarting inside of row 2.
Well, Michael mentioned Elliott Sadler in the one at the top of the show, and it just felt like watching practice on Friday. He was one of the drivers that could compete with these Joe Gibbs Toyotas.
He's inside of his teammate. On board here with Alex Bowman, who's had a nice afternoon. They settle in single file. Brendan Gaughan in the top 10. Haven't said that today, but he's 7th. Hermie talked about the fact they had to start at the back, had that brake line problem yesterday during qualifying. 62 having a good afternoon.
Look to the inside of Bubba Wallace. Brad Keselowski dove in there. They're 3 wide. That pushes Ty Dillon up the racetrack, and here comes Keselowski.
We didn't see Brad, but the 2 guys on the outside could feel him down there on the apron.
And you saw in the graphic going to commercial break, Brad Keselowski lost 4 spots on pit road in that 22 car. They had all types of issues on the right front during that change.
First run of the day, Suarez led 28 laps. Hornish went by. Second run of the day, 9 or 10 laps. Hornish got the lead. We'll monitor the progress here.
And another thing to be sure to keep your eye on is the progress of Elliott Sadler. Those two Toyotas have driven away from the field. Can Sadler hang with them? He and Bowman are right there. Have they made improvements and adjustments to their cars that will allow them to keep pace?
And now's a good time to really keep your eye on Sadler, because this is as good a track position as they've had this afternoon. Could change the way that car handles. Nice battle here. The 3 of Ty Dillon, bright yellow 33 of Brandon Jones, and the 3-time winner at Iowa, Brad Keselowski, in that white and black 22.
I think while we were watching that battle right there, Brennan Poole in the 48 got in the back of Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 6. I think we'll see it right here going off into turn 1.
Hello, I'm here, and I'm going to be requiring some space.
Now, Brennan last year got aggressive in this race, Michael.
Yeah, that got ugly.
It did.
Hopefully it won't head that way this time.
Yeah, he and J.J. Yaley got together, and NASCAR had to intervene.
Well, they intervened, all right. They pretty much parked him for the day.
I was just going to leave it at they intervened,
You
Larry.
can't leave that dangling out there.
Pulls steady and solid this year, though. Currently running 12. Just a fixture inside that top 15 all year long.
Nearly won at Talladega, and we got to salute Chip Ganassi Racing and what they're doing. Had a great run at Le Mans, winning the GT class. You watch the coverage here on Fox Sports the last couple of days, and they've had a good year in the Xfinity Series. Kyle Larson getting that win at Pocono. Justin Marks doing a good job in the 42, and Brennan Poole in his rookie campaign has had some really good outings.
Yeah, Marks is riding along in the 19th position, staying on the lead lap. There you see Justin in that bright greenish yellow car.
I'm glad you said it that way. I never know how to identify it either.
He's down on the inside of Jeremy Clements trying to make it work. This battle continues. See, Poole has gotten underneath Blake Cook.
Colleague Racing, that 11 team, Lee Filter Chevrolet. Cook's done a nice job. Team that started up in January, really making some noise as we hit the summer months.
You see Ben Kennedy there. Such a great start to this race. Great start to his week. Fastest in practice. Hearing on his pit stop, he had a jack issue. They lost some positions in the pits. So this is a good thing for a kid just trying to learn and understand what racing in this Xfinity car is all about. Get him back in traffic and let him fight his way through. I mean, you wouldn't plan it that way, but it's a good learning experience for him.
10 laps since the restart. You saw Hornish, a couple of car lengths back behind his teammate, the race leader, Daniel Suarez. And this battle not going away. Poole 12, 13 Blake Cook.
I bet you Lee Filter really likes our onboard camera. We're showing that car a lot. That's beautiful.
He's knocking on the door again. Hornish wants the top spot back. How much of what we're seeing here is Hornish just being patient on the restart, not wanting to miss an opportunity, and doesn't want to get into his teammate, and he knows he's got a good car on the long haul?
Well, if you're going to be rusty anywhere, you can be rusty on pit road, getting in and out of there. I understand that. And then you also got to just watch what you're doing on the restarts when everybody's bunched up so tightly. And that's just an experienced veteran doing his job perfectly. And now he's got a car that he thinks he can go up there and grab the lead again with.
Yeah, but he's having to start work a different groove, because where his car was so strong catching Suarez in the 19, it just rode the middle so good around the bottom of the racetrack. Now it looks like he's going to get underneath Suarez and maybe get this lead back.
How about the fact that he's led almost 400 laps here? All-time leader at Iowa is Sam Hornish Jr. I would have lost that bet, you know?
Me and you both. There's horses for courses, as they say, and Sam really has taken to this Iowa Speedway.
All about Joe Gibbs Racing today. Hornish has led 62. Suarez out front for 54. Could change hands again here. There goes the 18 to the inside. Can he make it work in turn 3?
And if they don't settle this quickly, Elliott Sadler will be there. You can see Sam gave it a little bit of gas in the center of the corner, trying to clear his teammate, wasn't quite able to do it. And look at Sadler. He's loving what he's seeing up ahead.
And we've got some lap traffic here.
Took him 4 or 5 laps. I thought Hornish was going to clear him. Can he make the pass? Can't quite close it off of turn 2. Suarez fighting hard in that outside lane. This is outstanding at the front here at Iowa.
Going to get it done there.
Yeah, I felt like once Hornish Jr. got to the bottom, that eventually that was going to prevail the way his car's been running the bottom.
Chris patiently waiting to give a report on the 19 of Daniel Suarez. Things have calmed down. Driver 19 now P2, Chris.
And boy, he did not want to give up that lead. I think Sam Hornish's car just working a little bit better today after about 10 laps than Daniel Suarez. Since the beginning of the race, he said that car a little bit too loose on entry, but he's made some brake adjustments, which has helped that out. But consistently saying that the car just a little too tight in the center.
I'm looking at our scoring monitor. Joe Gibbs 1-2. Look behind him. Junior Motorsports 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Sadler, Allgaier, Bowman. They have brought their A game this weekend.
And look at Brendan Gaughan picking up the pace after starting from the rear. He's heating up Brad Keselowski, and he's taking a different line. He likes the high side. We see that a lot out of Brendan Gaughan, and it's fun to see this racetrack opening up for these drivers so they have options when they get to the turns.
Yeah, I definitely think Shane Wilson, his crew chief, longtime crew chief, has been going in the right direction with the adjustments when they've been on pit road with the 62.
They made a big change after the first practice session Friday afternoon. A change that they liked a lot. They went out for the second session, wound up second fastest in that session, and Brendan said, now we've got something we can work with. We can drive up to the top 5 with this car, and that's exactly what he's done.
And they've had some highs and lows early in 2016, but overall a good, consistent start. And let's keep in mind, there's a lot of drivers that we haven't spent a lot of time talking about as far as wins in 2016, but we've got a chase now. They're all trying to be in the top 12 with 7 races to go so they can run for a championship. And one of the guys trying to make their way into the top 12, that would be Ryan Seed. He has really been good last few weeks, 15th right now, as he tries to run down the 2 of Ben Kennedy.
Yeah, we're halfway through the race to the chase. 13 down and 13 to go. And Ryan Sieg right now, he's right there on that cut line. He's 12th in points.
And right behind him, a guy that we know is going to be a part of the championship equation, Eric Jones, already 2 wins this season. Fuel problems today, some unscheduled pit stops, some time behind the wall. The guy that was scheduled to start on the pole had to drop to the back. 7 laps down right now. Jones in the 30th position. His teammates getting it done up front. It's Hornish, Suarez, then Sadler, Allgaier, and Bowman, the top 5. We're halfway at Iowa. Under caution for the 3rd time today. Derek Cope had a problem. We'll show you that in a moment. Leaders did come down pit road. Some strategy being played out here. Some guys taking 2 tires. No tires at all for Brennan Poole.
You'll see right here some of our guys, the leaders, different strategy, absolutely.
And the reason why the Gibbs cars are dominant.
We got to do something.
We can't just do what they do and expect to win the race. And we're midway through this thing. It's time to mix it up. See what we can do if we stay out on older tires, which Bubba Wallace has done. 2 tires. Brennan Poole just got a little gas.
Well, one reason I was surprised that many came to pit road and I saw Brennan Poole do fuel only is we have 120-something laps to go. A lot of them just used their next to the last set of tires. There's only 1 last set of tires left in a lot of those pits, where Darrell Wallace Jr. in his 6 right here, he has 2 sets left.
Look at that. That's up by his head too, Adam. Just think down there where he's sitting and his legs are. I bet you it's upwards of 150 degrees inside that race car.
You know who won the battle off pit road? Justin Allgaier.
And it wasn't just because he changed 2 tires.
Too fast entering.
So we got to go to the rear, right?
Yeah.
So I would come get my 2 lefts now.
Maybe he really wanted left side tires.
What a busy time for everybody at Fox Sports. NHRA coming up next on FS1. U.S. Open over on Fox. More Copa America coming your way Tuesday. The Americans back on the pitch. Semifinals against Argentina. Coverage begins 7 Eastern time. It's here on FS1. You're going to watch it at Fox Sports Go.
Now that's
I love this.
Me too. Big pool table.
Playing pool with soccer balls. What about Darrell Wallace Jr. staying out there, Hermie?
Yeah, Adam, a couple things in play here for the 6 of Bubba Wallace. Track position number 1, they want to get out front. Not quite in a fuel window yet, and wanted to manage their tires, obviously. So they're playing a different strategy than some of the other leaders on this end of pit road, staying on the racetrack, but 2 sets of sticker tires left in the 6 pit.
Well, he's going to be in the same boat as Brennan Poole in that 48. Brennan just has a full tank of fuel now, but they did not change tires. So I do not disagree with that strategy. I know it's going to be tough, but they only had run 21 laps. So I think saving that additional set of tires was smart.
And like we said, you've got two cars that are obviously dominant. We've got to have a different strategy, a different plan than they do if we plan on beating them.
Sam Hornish Jr. not had a real smooth day on pit road. What happened on this their third pit stop of the afternoon?
Well, you heard Chris Gale say we need to smooth out our pit stops as well. So you can see a little bit of an issue with the tire carrier there. Being a little late, getting that left front. Didn't look a lot, but a little bit's a lot during these pit stops.
And that's when the jack man has to be right on top of his game. He was looking at the left rear changer. He didn't know really 100% what was going on the left front, but he made sure he managed what happened by waiting and leaving that car in the air so he could get all those lug nuts on.
Darrell Wallace Jr. stayed on track. Brennan Poole came down pit road fuel only. Ryan Reed pitted for 2 tires. Elliott Sadler going to restart 4th. He's the first driver in the restart line that got 4 tires, and behind him the guys that have dominated this race, Daniel Suarez, Sam Hornish Jr., they will be 5th and 6th on the restart.
Elliott Sadler has a smile on his face right now. He's got those 2 fast Toyotas behind him, and he's got guys that have older tires in front of him. That's a good combination.
It's not a Talladega, Alabama smile, but it is a nice smile for driver 1.
Larry McReynolds' favorite memory of the year.
Yes, sir.
Auto Club Speedway. Yeah. I happen to like Bristol and Talladega. There's so many good things that happened this year.
Big restart here. It comes as we finish up lap 130. No tires, no problem. The kids out front trying to deliver, and look at Ryan Reed going down to the bottom.
Wow, what a move by Brennan Poole. Bubba Wallace was all over him.
Suarez on those fresh tires. Same for Elliott Sadler. Sam Hornish Jr. in the middle of that bunch. I like 3 wide. You like 3 wide on a short track?
That's a gaggle.
This might not end well. Ty Dillon running the yellow line. Elliott Sadler trapped in the middle. That's the 18 of Sam Hornish Jr. trying to make up some ground. Look at Hornish crossover move on Reed.
And by the way, Elliott Sadler isn't smiling anymore. He finds himself in the middle of a mess.
Yeah, Sam Hornish Jr. says, you know what, my teammate Daniel Suarez in that 19, he's getting out there to a big lead. I need to get back up there in second and run him back down.
Okay, so Wallace led 4 laps. Poole got 1, and now it's JGR 1-2 again.
All right, but we did switch it up. We got out ahead of them. It didn't work yet, but we got to keep trying. We got to use every playbook, every play in the book that we can to try to get those guys behind us.
3 wide once again. Those were teammates side by side. You had Sadler there and Bowman. Darrell Wallace Jr. in the outside lane.
Yeah, the perfect world for Brennan Poole and Darrell Wallace Jr. See Brennan Poole here in the 48 right now. He's running 4th. They still do not need a quick caution. They need this thing to run for a little while, and that way everybody's going to come to pit road. Everybody will get 4 tires. They'll still have a set left.
And I know, crew chief, you're into the trends of the race. And the trends here in recent years, and now we got problems on the track. You just said we don't need a caution, and right on cue, there goes Blake Cook bringing out the yellow flag for the 4th time today.
Now, if you're Bubba Wallace, he's fallen all the way back to the 11th spot outside the top 10. He's probably going to have to come in and get some gas and get some tires and regroup and try to figure out a new plan.
Hate this for Cook. He was running 10th. See what happened.
No damage, though, so that's good. Oh, he's going to try to cut low because Bubba Wallace was struggling up high, and Brennan Gaughan was right there. Turned the 11 car around.
How lucky is he there was no damage? A lot of cars in and around Cook when he went sideways. And they cut the grass short, which means it didn't grab that splitter when he went sliding through the infield.
Yeah, that's very fortunate.
Yeah, I'm still not a big fan of grass, but if you have to have it, cut it short.
Jimmy Small and the maintenance guys here at Iowa Speedway.
But I do agree with Michael. I think Brennan Poole in the 48, I think they've maintained enough track position. They need to stay out. Well, I'll be anxious to see does Bubba Wallace in the 6th, now that he's fallen back to 10th, does he hit pit road and get those 4 tires?
21 cars on the lead lap, just past halfway at Iowa. So far, it's been all about Joe Gibbs, and they're up front again. Under caution for the 4th time today, getting set for the restart. Top 5, Daniel Suarez, Sam Hornish Jr., Ty Dillon, Brennan Poole, Brad Keselowski. Poole on a little bit of a different strategy. He elected to get no tires under our last cycle of pit stops. That happened 12 laps ago, and seeing something we haven't seen today, the control car choosing the outside lane for the restart.
And he's been very successful on the bottom with his starts, but see if he can do the same thing on the top.
Ty Dillon likes the inside lane, apparently.
Wow, Sam Hornish just drove hard down into the first corner to take the lead.
If there was any rust that needed to be knocked off in regard to restarts, I think he finished it up right there.
We just knocked her clean.
I don't understand choosing the outside there. I'm confused on that one.
Maybe it's just for future reference in case he gets stuck up there to know what his car is going to do. Just gathering information, possibly.
Ty Dillon, runner-up at Richmond earlier this season. He's having a real nice effort. Brad Keselowski from the back to 4th. Brennan Poole hanging tough in the top 5.
Look at Alex Bowman looking to the outside of Ryan Reed.
Reed having as good a run as we've seen out of him in 2016.
All year long, this is as competitive as that 16 car has been. It's good to see.
Early in the year, they did some positive things, just couldn't finish the deal. Always seemed to have some kind of an issue. But today, holding strong with just over 100 laps to go. 3 wide behind him. Ben Kennedy is there, his teammate, Brandon Jones. And outside, that red, white, and blue 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr., who was 10th at the restart, but despite being on older tires, is hanging tough.
That's a battle, too. Ben Kennedy taking them 3 wide and getting 2 cars. Getting 1 car. About lost it there off turn 2, and it's going to cost him. Now they're going to take him 3 wide. Brandon Jones to the bottom.
These guys aren't messing around.
And, you know, I just love this racetrack. It allows these guys to race side by side and 3 wide. We saw it last night in the Camping World Truck Series race. That last restart was incredible, the way they were able to battle and race each other.
Here's what impressed me about that. Youngest top 5 in the history of the Camping World Truck Series. When you looked at the finishing results, looked like a bunch of old veterans. The way they raced each other, keeping it clean, that was entertaining to watch last night.
Yeah, it was great. I love what Ben Rhodes said after the race. He said, you know, I had some issues early in the year. I had to kind of take it easy tonight. What? Take it easy? He was side by side and 3 wide. William Byron, an amazing job to get the victory.
That kid, 3 wins and 9 starts. That is, I mean, talent oozing out of that kid.
Brad Keselowski wasted no time in that 22 car, just driving by Ty Dillon for the 3rd spot now.
Now that is an impressive move, and that's as high up as we've seen Brad. Maybe he's got the adjustments. We talked earlier about the track temperature going up, the ambient going up. All those could be factoring into Brad making a late charge.
In the last few years in the Xfinity Series, that 22 team, you just penciled them in. Didn't matter where we went, you knew they would be a part of the equation. 14th race of the year, they still haven't won. The team's been frustrated, especially at the short tracks. But Brad's so good here at Iowa, giving it a good run today. Had to start at the rear, unapproved body modifications. And Brad now 3rd, as you guys talked about.
You see Alex Bowman around Brennan Poole. He's been aggressive getting into cars, pushing them around a little bit. You can see here. Boom. Hello, Ryan Reed.
Inside, still down there, 33. Inside.
And remember, Ryan Reed only changing 2 right side tires. But I think what's going on with a lot of these drivers, we're seeing so many of them be aggressive. We're down to 100 laps to go, and possibly for most of them, only 1 more trip to pit road.
We were talking about Ryan Reed, Hermie, 8th right now, looking for more. How they feeling about the 16?
Well, as Larry mentioned, took 2 tires 2 cautions ago to gain some track position. He's kind of settled in right now in that battle between the 48 and the 6. But interesting note on the 16, every time he wants to communicate with his team, he has to turn the air conditioning unit in his helmet to the off position because it's creating so much interference on his radio. What kind of a distraction do you think that is, Michael, as he's navigating this traffic?
It's just a... Check out this action here, Hermie. Watch Ryan Reed. He just gets into the side of Brennan Poole and pushes him up out of the way. And Larry McReynolds, what is happening here? I think these crew chiefs are watching these guys that stayed out on tires. They're watching the 2 tire changes, and that's as good as Ryan Reed has run all day long. We get a late caution at him. There could be some strategy that comes in to trying to upset these 2 dominant cars for Joe Gibbs Racing.
And you talk about momentum at a place like Iowa. Poole was up in 7th. Now he's dropped back to 10th after that tap from Ryan Reed.
And look at Justin Allgaier marching from the back after a pit road penalty.
Well, and what they did, Jason Burdett, that 7 car, under that last caution, they were about the only driver and car to come to pit road. He put his left side zone, but I think more importantly, filled it up with fuel. That's 114 to go. That's just right there on the window to make it to the end.
They pitted with everyone else at lap 126. Right side tires for track position, but Michael said it. He was caught speeding. So when the caution came out again, 10 laps later, come down, put on the left side tires, fill it up with fuel, and they are making some gains. 11th right now, trying to get back inside the top 10. Still have 1 set of tires in the pits. Should they come again, as Larry said, right just on the outside of that window of being able to go the distance.
Yeah, but if you start just squeezing out a little bit early with 40 or 50 to go, if it comes to that situation, you can really stretch it out and maybe get it to the end. That would be another strategy play that might happen.
And I think things like that are more prone to happen this year with the chase format being in this Xfinity Series.
Allgaier back in the top 10. This sets the battle for 10th. He and Poole there in the white and blue 48. Meanwhile, back at the front, Sam Hornish Jr. over a second lead in front of Daniel Suarez, Chris.
Well, Adam, we've seen a lot of adjustments on cars. Also seen some adjustments on the other side of pit lane. Chris Gale, crew chief on the 18 car, just swapped his pit crew with Eric Jones' pit crew. So making an adjustment down here, hoping to perform better in the second half of this race. Normally on these weekends, Joe Gibbs Racing uses the Sprint Cup pit crews within that organization. But since this weekend Sprint Cup is off, they've decided to go with some contractors that work for other Toyota teams at the Sprint Cup level.
And Eric Jones, the reason you would make the swap with him, he's out of the game. Had the fueling issue early, had to go to the garage to fix it. 7 laps down in 29th is the driver that's won 2 times in 2016.
Yeah, and you talked about the chase format. It's worked out perfectly for that young man. His season has been up and down, victory lane, issues with crashing, and then, of course, the problem here. So check it out. We got to split the lappers when we catch them. Elliott Sadler's trying to grab fourth spot away from Ty Dillon.
That last restart, not good for Elliott Sadler. The 1 car has returned to the top 5. In fact, there's 3 drivers entered today that won here at Iowa. They're all in the top 5. Sam Hornish Jr., who leads this thing, Daniel Suarez, Brad Keselowski, Ty Dillon, Elliott Sadler. Things getting tight. Less than 100 laps to go. Happy Father's Day. Thanks for being with us. From Iowa Speedway with Larry McReynolds, Michael Waltrip, I'm Adam Alexander. 164 of 250 laps complete. Sam Hornish Jr. leading 97 of those. His teammate Daniel Suarez, who's second right now, out front for 62 circuits. You know, the last 6 Xfinity races won by 6 different drivers. Sam trying to make it 7 out of 7. In fact, our last 8 short track races won by 8 different drivers. So a couple of streaks we're trying to keep alive here today, and probably ought to keep an eye on that guy too.
I venture to say he's driving as hard as he has ever. I mean, I know these guys give it everything they got every lap, but he's made some serious gains on the competition. Those 2 Joe Gibbs Racing cars out front, Brad's able to just sit there and run lap times that are comparable to them both, and you can just tell he's given it all he's got. Sideways off the corner, he just can't quite get to the back bumper of Daniel Suarez, but he's inching in.
You know, Brad Keselowski, his record in the Xfinity Series is unbelievable. Yeah, he has a championship, but he has top 10 finishes in 25 of his last 26 starts, including 8 trips to victory lane.
And he was the last driver to win in that 22 car last fall at Texas. When we came here last August, it was Ryan Blaney behind the wheel of that 22, led 152 of 160 laps. Not really a surprise that Brad's been good here today.
Look at Elliott Sadler. He tried the outside of Ty Dillon. Couldn't make that work. Look to the bottom there in turn 3 and 4. Running in the 5th spot. Garrett Smithley, the lap car up top.
It's a battle for Dillon and Sadler. We're 5 seconds behind the race lead, Michael.
Yeah, and you can see just searching for grip, searching for a groove on this track that will complement the problems that they're having with their handling and pick up some time, but dealing with each other at the same time. A lot goes on in a driver's head out there. You want to get the position, you want to make the pass, but you also want to gather as much information as you possibly can so you can relate it to your crew chief. Tell your crew chief what you're feeling and how you need to be better.
What about it, Chris?
Well, just small adjustments with Sam Hornish Jr.'s car all day long. It's been running great, but in the last 10 laps, lots of chatter from the spotters about drivers moving up into that third groove, searching for more grip up there. And Chris Gale, crew chief on that 18 car, told Sam, I know you're like running low right now, but you might want to venture up there and just kind of feel it out. We might need to be up there later.
I love that. That's just great information, you know, and like we said on the restart, maybe they were just trying to find out for later what groove they would want to take. That's just good thinking, good crew chiefing.
Well, yeah, the last lap that Sam Hornish Jr. ran, that's about his fastest lap in the last 8 to 10 laps. So you can see he's definitely searching around with this 18 car.
So these guys up front, for the most part, last pitted at lap 126, except for Darrell Wallace Jr. He stayed out there last time he was on pit road at lap 99. The benefit for him, he has 2 sets of tires remaining, compared to everybody else having one. But what's the perfect scenario here, Larry? When do you want the caution to come so you can make what would be likely the final pit stop?
Well, I think for everyone except Brennan Poole and especially Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 6, at any given time, you know, it's not going to make a difference. But Darrell Wallace Jr. in that 6, he's going to have to be coming to pit road in about the next 25 to 30 laps. So he needs a caution here pretty soon.
Elliott Sadler got it done. Ty Dillon up to 4th now.
Ty Dillon said not so fast.
Might not last long.
Elliott dives deeper into the corner on that high, bigger radius turn that he's taken, and it's going to pay off, I think, with momentum off turn 4.
You know, he won from the pole here in 2012. Sadler did. Never finished outside the top 10 here. But he said this place has really changed a lot since we first started coming here back in 2009.
You know, Adam, let me back up on something I said. I think everyone from Sam Hornish Jr., Suarez, Keselowski, they wanted to go for a little while longer because they definitely want to see that 6 car coming to pit road under green. That takes him out of the equation. Plus, you don't want that last run to be too long of a run because then it puts you on the box as far as having no tires left.
Teammates going at it here for 11th. Brandon Jones inside of Brendan Gaughan. Another RCR car in front of him, Ben Kennedy.
Ben's just doing a great job in his Xfinity Series debut. Running up in the top 10. Been there all day long. And I know just learning so much. He's used to driving a big old boxy pickup truck. They've given him a real hot ride here, and I know it feels good.
Yeah, he was fastest in both of the practice sessions on Friday.
Allgaier continues to climb back. Had that speeding penalty, came down pit road, got those left side tires.
Damage on Ray Black Jr.'s 07 car.
And we got word that NASCAR is definitely looking at the left rear of that car, making sure they don't have anything hanging off.
All right, there they go again. Ty Dillon around Elliott Sadler. Elliott said, I've been running that outside lane. You take it. I'll see what I can do down low.
The 3 sponsored by Come and Go, and that's what they've been doing. Coming and going.
Yes, they have. Chris ties 4th right now.
Yeah, they've been coming and going, but they've also really been working on that 3 car all day. Didn't like the car early in the race, saying it was just way too edgy. The back end stepping out, especially getting off the corners, but they've been making lots of changes. Wedge adjustments, air pressure changes. And right now, Ty Dillon saying this is the best car he's had all day.
Ty's starting to pull away a little bit. Maybe. Here comes Elliott Sadler looking down to the inside at the front. Hornish is really pulled away from Suarez. 4.4 seconds the difference there.
How about Chris Gale? He just sets up the car and says, here you go. Go have some fun with this thing. He does a great job behind him.
Horner should be the third different driver to go to victory lane in that 18 here in 2016.
The fastest sport in the world returns to FS1 next with the NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals from Bristol, Tennessee. Coverage of the finals is next only on Fox Sports 1. Or, Adam, you can watch it on Fox Sports Go. Stream it live.
I think I've had a little bit of work lifted off of my plate. Huh?
Well, and to honor Daniel Suarez's win at Michigan, andale, andale.
Gracias, gracias. Check out this, guys. Look at the damage on the right rear of the 18 car. This could be the perfect world. You see Brad Keselowski's climbed right back up on Daniel Suarez. Looks like he's going to make the move. Keselowski to second.
But he definitely caught him by moving way up the racetrack, about as far as you can go up without getting into the gray.
And look, there's some damage to the right front of that 22 car as well. Looks like maybe he and Ray Black Jr. got together. What happened to the 22, Hermie? Have you heard?
You called it, Michael. Contact with the 07 on the racetrack. In fact, the 22 team brought out another right front fender just in case they needed to replace it on a pit stop. But after he moved up the racetrack, he certainly has picked up speed now to the second position and trying to get that 22 car into victory lane for the first time in 2016.
Yeah, Hermie, this late in the game, put that right front fender back away. You're not going to take time to replace no right front fender, even trying to repair it.
And that's America's crew chief talk. We got a plan. We ain't messing with no fender.
Those guys racing for second. Hornish now pulling away his lead 6 seconds.
You know, sometimes it's your day. We saw a contact on pit road with Justin Allgaier when these two cars were leaving the pit. It bent out the right rear quarter panel of the 18 car for Sam Hornish Jr. We talk about illegal body modifications. It's to get more side force. You would want that right rear fender hanging out just like it is, but it isn't allowed by NASCAR. But that was a racing incident, and that is probably helping the 18 car with side force, helping it through the center of the corner. Do you agree with that, crew chief?
No question. That's free rear downforce right there. Going to keep an eye on this 7 car of Justin Allgaier. 59 laps to go. Feel like he can make it to the end if they're just a little conservative.
He's up to 8th. Caution. There it goes. J.J. Yaley.
That was contact between the 24 of Drew Herring. Those two, we've been watching that pack. Adam, they have absolutely been 3-4 wide. And it looked like maybe Yaley tried to come up and Herring was there. But I think these guys are frustrated with one another.
You know who just went, Seth Barber, Darrell Wallace Jr. next 6, because they were within about 8 to 10 laps of having to make a green flag stop.
Watch this. Yaley tries to just go into a place that wasn't there.
Yeah, there was not a thing Drew Herring in that 24 could do there.
And he decides he better just finish him off after that. You know, somebody cut you off. You need to get him.
He could have done something there.
At that point, he got an option, and he opted to let him know that he didn't appreciate being cut off.
Yaley was 12th. Herring now occupies that position. First car 1 lap down. Jeremy Clements, he's 16th. Gets the free pass back on the lead lap. 5th caution of the day. 57 laps to go.
And, you know, Seth Barber and Bubba Wallace breathed a sigh of relief, but I think Justin Allgaier said, darn. You know, they were in a position to maybe stretch this thing all the way to the end, but we knew there would be more contact. We're short track racing.
Now, pretty much the scenario is simple here. Everybody's going to come to pit road and get 4 fresh tires, fill it up with fuel. You can go to the end. But remember, Darrell Wallace Jr., Brennan Poole, they will still have 1 additional set led in the pits.
Should we get a late caution, could benefit them greatly.
Yeah, especially with less than 20 cars, 15 cars, 16 on the lead lap. That's a big deal.
Scheduled pit stops under caution, Hermie.
The 22 of Brad Keselowski hits his pit stall, 4 tires, only 1 can of fuel because they want to patch the right front nose of this 22. The Elliott Sadler hit his pit stall. He is loose on exit on both ends. 4 tires and fuel for Elliott Sadler. Chris.
Ty Dillon, the best his car's been all day, saying it's rolling the top really well. If anything, he'd just like a little bit of help getting off the corner. Sam Hornish says, I love this car right now. No adjustments, just be 4 tires and fuel. See if Eric Jones' pit crew can hit the mark this time.
Well, they've big advantage, Chris, because he had such a huge lead coming to pit road. There were 10, 15 lap cars when he in the second place car, so he's going to easily win the battle off pit road.
And look at Ty Dillon, the 3 crew delivering. Up a couple of positions, he'll restart second when we return to Iowa. David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball's superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer. The MLB All-Star Game from San Diego, July 12th, only on Fox.
You did a pretty good job with that, Adam.
Thanks. Larry, you got the next one, right?
Okay, but how about if I talk about the pit performance right there? Look at Sam Hornish Jr. Now remember, that crew right there, that's the crew from Eric Jones. Trouble on the right rear for Daniel Suarez. He goes from 3rd to 6th, and you can pretty much say that was their last trip to pit road for Suarez and for Sam Hornish Jr. So that was a stop that you really needed to rise to the occasion.
Elliott Sadler also lost a couple of positions there. He's going to restart 7th. And let's put this in perspective. Sam Hornish Jr. a week ago had no idea he'd be spending his Father's Day in Newton, Iowa. But got a call on Monday because Matt Tifft, who was scheduled to drive the car, had a disc problem in his back. Doctor said you probably shouldn't compete this weekend. Sam's been with Joe Gibbs before. They called him up, and he said, I'd love to drive that 18. Hadn't been in a race car in 210 days since Homestead in November. Shows up here, good in practice, qualifies 3rd, and has led 130 of 198 laps. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and visit foxsportssupports.com. Hey, before we go back green here, happy Father's Day to everyone at home. And happy Father's Day to the many men on our crew. Not a Sprint Cup weekend. Everybody comes out together to be a part of this. And all those behind the scenes sacrificing time with their family, many of them out on a camera stand somewhere in this 90-degree heat. We salute you. Thank you for being here and being so supportive in the first 15, 16 weeks of this NASCAR season.
Yeah, we've talked about how hot it is in these race cars. How about up on those camera stands?
That's exactly right. I don't think people really grasp how many people it takes to show you these race cars on the track, and I appreciate every one of them that are on the Fox team.
Best crew in the business. Here we go. Restart. Closing on lap 200. Hornish, the race leader, chooses the inside lane.
Wow, Brad Keselowski had a choice there. He had a big run on that start. He could have taken them 3 wide. Decided it was smarter for him to push Hornish to the front. That's interesting.
Bowman tried the crossover. 3 wide. Reed, Poole, and Ben Kennedy.
Look at
Ty Dillon making noise. He looks for the crossover. Going for the race lead. Can't make it happen into 1.
Well, you saw the graphic earlier. A big win for Ty Dillon, but it's been almost 2 years since that win at Indy back in 2014.
Look to the left. Here comes Daniel Suarez. He's on the inside of Bubba Wallace, and Justin Allgaier trying to follow through as well. And then Keselowski for second.
Drives down underneath the Ty Dillon. Waiting in the wings, Alex Bowman. And top 4 drivers. 4 different teams. Things have balanced out here. All the manufacturers represented. Getting good with 49 laps to go.
It's go time. These guys know they can't let that 18 car drive away.
And I think Alex Bowman in this 88. Look how tight they're racing down in 1 and 2.
Could have been a little contact there.
Yeah, Bowman got loose and slid up into Keselowski. Luckily, Brad saved it. And Alex is going to lose a spot.
Yeah, the momentum went away. Teammate takes advantage. Elliott Sadler back up to 4th.
Sadler on a good run off turn 4. Can he look to the inside of Keselowski?
It's as good as we've seen that 22 car all season long. That last situation worth a second look, huh?
Yeah, he just dives in the corner and can't get away from Keselowski, and that makes his car get loose. And then he just can't get off of Brad. Nice save by both those drivers.
Outside 22. Outside, going to be 3 wide here for a second. Hang on, they'll get the one. Gonna have a pulse.
And that allowed Ty Dillon in that 3 to drive away, but company's coming. Elliott Sadler in that 1 car just keeps chipping away.
On board with Ty here. That's Brad Keselowski right behind him. Sadler behind him. And everybody knows, Michael, restart, less than 50 to go at a short track. You may not get another one. Go get all you can, because this may be it.
Yeah, the spotter telling Alex Bowman he's got one outside. Bowman could have said, yeah, no, I feel him. I'm bouncing off of that guy outside of me. Look at Keselowski. Look at the differing lines.
Love that.
Yeah, 3 different grooves through 3 and 4 that time.
But these guys racing for position, the runner-up spot, opening the door for Sam Hornish Jr. He's distanced himself again, over a second advantage for driver 18.
Yeah, and just that last time by, Adam, 0.2 of a second faster than this battle for second, and that's just huge anywhere in NASCAR, but especially on a track where you're running at speeds in excess of 150 miles an hour. You can drive away like that. That's impressive.
Yeah, I would say the biggest strategy for Chris Gale right now, the crew chief for Sam Hornish Jr., is get Sam just to pace himself right here. You don't need to drive away and get no 7 or 8 second lead. Just stay out front. We know we're going to eventually deal with lap traffic. Let's just be smart here.
18 team has won 5 times this year. 4 courtesy of Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin got the checkered flag at Charlotte. Hornish trying to deliver today.
Hamlin might have had the charge of the year.
Yeah, that was good.
Win at Charlotte. That was impressive in that 18 team. We've seen so many big moments.
I don't know. I think the charge of the year might have been from Suarez, right? When he rallied back last week. He's on another heater today, Michael.
And here he goes around the outside, taking that spot away from Bowman. Could he do it 2 weeks in a row?
But the call Chris Gale made to put 4 tires on Denny Hamlin that late in the race, that played a big role in that win.
Suarez back up to 5th, pulling away now from Bowman.
Ryan Sieg to pit road. An issue for the 39 car. Was running in the top 15.
Yeah, he's going to go a lap down here. Always do when you make a green flag pit stop at a short track. Tough break for Sieg in the 39. Brought the same car here this weekend that they ran last week at Michigan. A lot of challenges for them in that regard, but they've made it happen.
And now they've got an uncontrolled tire. A tire got away from them on pit road as well. So bad to worse.
But you know, you talked about Michigan last week. I talked to Sam Hornish Jr. yesterday, and he said, I was sitting at home watching the Sprint Cup Series race on FS1, and then I get the call on Monday that they want me to come drive this 18 car because, to your point earlier, Matt Tiff scheduled to run this car with back issues.
You know, Hornish said he was happy to drive that car. They could have called about anybody in America that would be happy to drive that car. I mean, it's such a great team, and Gale does such a great job as the crew chief, and man, that's a wonderful opportunity.
When he won here in 2014, he led 167 laps, 145 out front today, and he's got a nice cushion at the front. 32 laps to go at Iowa, under caution for the 6th time. Drew Herring, turn coming down the front straightaway. Last 20 laps haven't been real good for the driver out of North Carolina.
Well, this is his teammate, Dakota Armstrong, in the 28, and just drives right up into the left rear of Drew Herring and spins him out. So this ought to be an interesting competition meeting early part of the week.
Makes you wonder if anything happened prior to that, because it looked pretty obvious that he just got spun around.
Brendan Gaughan was the first car 1 lap down. He'll get the free pass, put him back on the lead lap. 16 cars on the lead lap for last 30 laps or so, and here we are. Darrell Wallace Jr., Brennan Poole both have an additional set of tires based on how they've played the strategy. We'll see if they pit here, and as we ponder that, we look at Brad Keselowski 4th right now, and he had a moment.
Just gets loose. Talked about how hard he's driving that car. Look, jumped the cushion up next to the outside wall, was able to hang on to it, but watch Elliott Sadler go flying by. That's just heart, just trying to get all he can. He wants to go catch those leaders.
He's been getting after it today, Hermie.
Yeah, Adam, the issue is the 22, when he started to run down the 3 at the beginning of this last run, the speed was at the top of the racetrack. The problem is Ty Dillon had also found speed at the top of the racetrack, so they have continued to climb the banking in the corner, has the 22. His car is tight through the center, loose on exit, but he said the good news, at least I'll get to restart on the outside. He likes that.
Yeah, Adam, in my book, it's a no-brainer for Darrell Wallace Jr. He's sitting there 8th. Brennan Poole is 12th. We only have 15 drivers on the lead lap. I don't think you want to end this race with a set of tires sitting in the pits. Here comes Poole, but Darrell Wallace stayed out. Don't know if I understand that one right there.
I thought he was kind of caught in the middle when you look at the track position. Poole, a no-brainer, was 12th. He'll get his 4 tires. See if he can make a run at him down the stretch at Iowa. 28 laps to go for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Iowa. Some cars penalized prior to the race. Unapproved body modifications for pole sitter Eric Jones, Elliott Sadler, Brad Keselowski all had to drop to the rear, and the problems didn't stop there for the 20.
Yeah, fuel pressure problems. They would go about 30 laps, and they were having troubles with the pickup in the fuel cell. He'd have to come to pit road for more fuel.
Sam Hornish Jr. exiting pit road, hit by Allgaier.
That could be the key to why that car's performing so well. A lot of extra downforce made accidentally from that contact, and you see the fuel cell on the right of the car, changing that out so that Jones could continue.
Lap 135. About 100 laps ago. Blake Cook goes for a ride. He's come back, currently scored in the 14th position. Then we had a little crew swap on pit road. 18-team switching positions with the 20 group. And we're ready for the restart. It'll come with 27 laps remaining. Sam Hornish Jr. has led 156 laps today. Chooses that outside lane. Here we go. Suarez getting aggressive. Going underneath of Sadler, 3 wide into 1, off of 2.
Well, I think everybody's going to be aggressive now because the lap count is going down.
And look at that 3 wide.
No one's driving any harder right now than Ty Dillon, really getting after it at the front. Brad Keselowski trying to make some gains on board here with Darrell Wallace Jr. There goes Keselowski out of line in that white and black 22. Around Ty Dillon. Suarez, after that tough pit stop, starting to make some moves to the front.
Don't put Keselowski around Ty Dillon so fast. Dillon fights back hard on the outside. Look at Brad drive into the center of the turn, trying to clear Dillon. Can't do it. Ty's doing a great job up high.
How about this 3 wide? Remember, Brennan Poole, about 18 lap fresher tires. He pitted that last time. He knows he has to take advantage of those fresh Goodyears.
Restarted 16th, already up to 12th for the 48. Rookie out of the Woodlands, Texas, Brennan Poole. Jeremy Clements behind him, inside of the 11 of Blake Cook. They're battling for 12th. And both have had some problems today. We showed you the spin for Cook. He was able to stay on the lead lap. Jeremy Clements at one point got the free pass, looking for another top 15 finish here today.
Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 6. He's moved that car all the way up to the top groove of the racetrack, about 3 grooves off the bottom.
Slides in front of Allgaier. He's in a junior motorsports sandwich there, isn't he? Sadler and Allgaier both there.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace we're riding along with, and behind him, Brennan Poole has cracked inside the top 10. He's taken advantage of those new tires. You can see him here racing alongside Ben Kennedy. And just think about Chad Norris, the crew chief on this 48 car. Remember at Richmond, they used a differing strategy late in the race to try to win. They restarted up on the front row. And now here, he's made the call to give him fresher tires than everyone else at the end. And it could pay off.
Ben Kennedy net too. There was a little bump draft down the back straightaway.
They've consistently and steadily improved that 48 car. Now they've got better tires. See how far he can march.
These two going at it for second. Ty Dillon in the 3. 22 is Brad Keselowski. Behind them, Daniel Suarez. Suarez has been really good today, but lost his track position, trying to regain it here. At least get up to the runner-up position so the coach can get another 1-2 finish. 6 and 7 can't seem to get away from one another.
In junior motorsports, those drivers, they can't get away from each other right now, running 5th, 6th, and 7th.
They made some gains since the early portion of 2016. Those two cars have won this year. 2 for the 88. 1 time for Elliott Sadler at Talladega. Side by side for 5th, Bowman and Sadler.
See teammate Justin Allgaier. Keep an eye on these two from the 7th spot.
You know, while these two are battling right here, we've got this battle for second. Boy, it is really come to life with Brad Keselowski and Ty Dillon.
And I don't know if he's saving his tires at this stage, but Hornish not really pulling away from these two when you consider how hard they're racing one another.
Well, and if I know Chris Gale, the crew chief, he's told Hornish, just get out there and stay ahead of these guys. Don't be stretching it out. I don't want you to burn off the tires. Make sure we got a little something in the tank in case there's a late restart. But Brad, he just can't clear Ty. Runs up on him, can't get the pass finished.
And Michael Jr. in that 18, while everyone else has been moving around the racetrack, he has not moved off the bottom.
Yeah, and that's that makes you a bit vulnerable if you happen to get in a position where somebody closes in up high. You got to know how to run the high groove in case you need to go up there and block.
16 laps to go. Hornish has a comfortable lead, Chris.
Michael, you were spot on. Chris Gale on the radio just about every lap telling Sam Hornish Jr. what the split is behind him and telling him those guys are racing so hard behind you. Just take care of your tires. Don't beat up that right rear. We're in a good spot.
And as we come back to 15 to go, some lap cars out in front of them going to play a role in this thing.
Yeah, I would hope those drivers would get out of the way because they're not drivers that are one lap down. They are many laps down.
Ty Dillon in the last 2 laps has cut that lead in half. You can see just about a half a second between the two, and Dillon's running the high line.
18 car had a big lead last week at Michigan. Couldn't hang on in the latter stages. In the Irish Hills, it was Daniel Suarez that ran down his teammate. Ty Dillon trying to do it today and get his 2nd career victory. Larry said it earlier. Only time he's been to victory lane, Indianapolis, July 2014. And here they are in that lap traffic. Hornish outside of Mike Harmon.
Clicked another 1/10 of a second off that lead last time by.
Yeah, Sam Hornish Jr., he's going to have about 3 more lap cars to deal with. 13 laps to go.
Hornish not driving full-time in 2016. In fact, hasn't been in a car since we ended 2015. Back in Ohio, teaching school, substitute teacher. Got the call on Monday to come drive for Joe Gibbs Racing. He said absolutely. Led 167 laps and won here in 2014. He's been dominant this afternoon.
If you've seen the trophy here at the Iowa Speedway, that would be a perfect show and tell to take to school on Monday.
Reminder coming up next. Our coverage of the NHRA Thunder Nationals live from Bristol, Tennessee.
Wow, Ty Dillon really lost a lot on that lap. I don't know what happened to the 3 car, whether he got a little bit too high, but
Well, we'll be coming to 10 to go, and right now Sam Hornish Jr. at 18 has a pretty clear racetrack in front of him. I think we sometimes forget, especially some of our newer fans, Sam Hornish Jr., 3-time IndyCar championship, and then 19 wins in IndyCar, including the 2006 Indy 500.
I think Ty Dillon has gotten loose. He was sideways up in 3 and 4, and Brad Keselowski's trying to take advantage of it. He's moved to the inside.
Really helping out Sam Hornish Jr. The advantage close to 2 seconds. It'll be 9 laps to go when he comes back to the start-finish line.
You know, when you're rusty a little bit, like we've talked about Sam Hornish, one thing you don't want is overtime. Don't make me try to pass that test, too. I've done pretty good all day long dominating this race. Restarts have been solid. Please don't take me to overtime.
In the last 2-hour races, there was overtime.
Please don't take me there, says Sam Hornish.
Overtime rules are different. Do you even think he knows the rule, Michael?
I know who does, Chris Gale, and he will be reminding Sam Hornish of every move he needs to make.
8 laps to go. Dillon able to hang on to 2nd. Keselowski's 3rd. Suarez has joined that mix in the 4th spot.
You know, that the news story that we had last week, the sports story with Daniel Suarez winning in Michigan, that was so incredible. But this is equally fascinating with Sam Hornish just being plugged in this week to this car and is going to have a shot to drive it to victory lane. A really good shot.
Think about Joe Gibbs Racing this year. Mentioned the 4 wins for Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin driving the 18 to victory lane at Charlotte. Eric Jones, pair of wins in the 20 car. Last week it was Daniel Suarez. 8 of 13 races this year have gone the way of the coach. And he's 6 laps away from getting it done again and putting a 5th different driver into the winner's circle.
And just think about it. I think they came here, I think I'm right, the 8th time in 2016 and qualified 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, in fact, they've done it 15 times as an organization. It's only happened 22 times when you look at the history of the Xfinity Series. The worst qualifier of the bunch, Sam Hornish Jr. But when the green flag went in the air, the 18 having no problems, 5 laps to go at Iowa.
Stretched his lead out to a 1.5 seconds. I think if Chris Gale's on that radio again saying, okay, buddy, that's enough. Let's just hold that lead.
Everybody else, they're all over the racetrack, and it's like he is tied to that yellow line.
Yeah, the 2 cars that are chasing him down, trying to chase him down right there, Ty Dillon and Brad Keselowski, they've been sideways way more than they've been straight.
3.5 laps remaining. He just wants to get back, see that white flag. So as you said, Larry, we don't have overtime. Doesn't need to pass that test here today. And he has got a huge cushion. 3 laps remaining for Sam Hornish Jr.
And a huge cushion in NASCAR is a 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, Sam said he was almost embarrassed to tell his wife that he was going to go racing for the first time in a long time. And oh, by the way, it's going to be on Father's Day weekend. I'd say they'll have a lot of fun celebrating in Victory Lane on Father's Day.
This will be Sam's 4th win in the series with his 4th different crew chief. Twice he went to Victory Lane driving for Roger Penske. Also got the win here for Joe Gibbs Racing.
One more lap to get back to that white flag. That's what Sam's going to be looking for.
Pretty clear racetrack in front of him now.
Yeah, shouldn't have to deal with any more lap traffic. Off of turn 4, sees the white flag. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Well, that's a good feeling right there. Got a empty rear view mirror and just less than a half mile to go.
Hadn't raced in 210 days. Got called off the bench on Monday. He'd been teaching school. Today he's going to take him to school. Sam Hornish Jr. going to get the victory here at Iowa.
Ty Dillon comes home 2nd, Keselowski 3rd, Suarez 4th, and Alex Bowman. Another top 5 for him in that 88 car.
Great job by Ty Dillon, trying to do all he could to run down the faster car of Sam Hornish Jr. and at the same time holding off the Sprint Cup champion, Brad Keselowski.
What a dominating performance for Hornish. Leads 183 laps today. He's now led 5:06 here at Iowa, the all-time laps leader at this 7/8 of a mile track. Seventh winner in the last 7 races, and the 5th different driver to get a win for Joe Gibbs Racing here in 2016 when you talk about the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Burnouts, they've even come a long way since the last time he raced.
I wasn't going to say anything.
A little bit rusty.
That's all right.
A little bit rusty on the donuts, and I love every bit of it. It just shows you the talent and the determination that man had today to step into some unfamiliar surroundings and drive straight to victory lane.
Last time he won here at Iowa a couple of years ago. First time he's been in an Xfinity car since Texas last spring.
Just can't say enough about Chris Gale and that 18 team. You talked about this as the 3rd driver to win a race. This is the 5th different driver he's worked with this year.
Ty Dillon, a runner-up today, Hermie.
Yeah, Ty Dillon ties his season best. You guys, 5th, 6th, 7th, pretty much first half of the race, and you go to the top of the racetrack and go right to the front. Your effort today and anything you could have done differently, down the stretch?
I don't know. He just needed to be a little bit better. The 18 was so dominant on the bottom. I felt like we were obviously the best car up top. Just need a little bit more speed. But proud of my guys, proud of Nick. We kind of struggled all week. We were kind of mid-pack car, and we executed all day and did what we needed to do to put ourselves in position, and we've been talking about that all week, so we did a great job. And proud to get a good run with American Ethanol and come and go on the car. It's kind of like a hometown race for them. This is the Cornfields, Iowa, and we're running on E15 every weekend here in NASCAR. So proud to have them on board. Great finish for us, and we'll just keep this momentum going.
It's Ty Dillon.
Thank you, Hermie. 10th different winner in 2016 in 14 races. A lot of parity. In the last 9 short track races in the Xfinity Series, 9 different drivers. And just can't really put into perspective how difficult it is to come off the bench and get it done, but that's what Sam did here today and beat some pretty good ones when you talk about the history of this place, Iowa. Hermie?
Yeah, Brad, first of all, happy Father's Day. It looked like it was a lot of fun out there, and you mentioned one time, I've got all 4 fenders beat in on this race car, but solid effort for your team.
Yeah, I think all I was missing with the discount tire Ford was hitting the pace car, but left it all out there. Just, you know, I think the 18 and the 20 had a lot of speed. Were probably the 2 best cars and deserved one of them at least to win, and, you know, we ran 3rd there. Thought we were probably just a little bit better than the 3 car, but I kept losing the battle off of pit road, and that wasn't helping, and couldn't get back by him. So who knows what would have happened if I could have got by the 3. I thought maybe I could have at least ran equal to Sam, but never got that shot. But fought really hard today, Hermie, and came a little bit short, but know where we need to work to get better, and still trying to get this program where we want it to be. Want to be a little bit faster than what we've been, but we'll keep working on it. And just want to say happy Father's Day to everyone out there watching. Thanks for watching our race today.
That's Brad Keselowski. He comes home in the 3rd position today.
22 car looked really good on track. Probably about as good as we've seen them look, and Brad did a nice job at Texas earlier this year. Been solid when you talked about the restrictor plate races. Short tracks, they've struggled. Brad, a top 5 run today, but this afternoon, all about Sam Hornish Jr. He's in victory lane, Chris.
And Adam, this 18 car, so strong this year. Kyle Busch racking up 4 wins. Denny Hamlin getting the win in Charlotte. And Sam Hornish Jr. getting the win in Iowa. Sam, you got the call on Monday, and you delivered the win on Sunday. How does that feel?
I don't know. It doesn't get much better than that. So it's way too tight, but just got to thank Toyota, everybody from Joe Gibbs Racing for getting me out here and giving me this opportunity. Got my wife and kids here. This is the first time the kids got to be. I mean, I can't tell you what this means to me. Worked so hard to try to get a win when I had my kids here, and the fact of how all this went on, and I just, you know, thank God, you know, he makes things happen. And I was so nervous on Friday, getting into the car, thinking I'm going to make a mistake, and man, to go out there to win the way that we did, you know, just can't say anything more about it. But thank you to TRD. Hope Matt's doing well. And definitely want to thank the fans. And happy Father's Day to everybody. This is definitely one of the best ones I've ever had. I can guarantee you that.
Super sub. Sam Hornish Jr. wins in Iowa.
Joe Gibbs Racing getting their 9th win of 2016. We all would have lost the bet a week ago if we'd said it would be that guy that would deliver it, huh?
We didn't even know he was going to be here, and to be able to stand there. We talk about family all the time in NASCAR, but to be able to stand there in victory lane with your kids and get the hug and all the love that he's feeling down there after a dominating performance. He just got consistently faster and faster all race long, pulled into victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw it in practice on Friday that the only team that could be the 18 team was maybe the 18 team. But there's a man that has an Indy 500 win, 3 Indy championships, 3 other wins in the Xfinity Series. What I picked up on in that interview, this one may go straight to the top of the charts when you involve all the circumstances plus having his family here on Father's Day.
You got to love that emotion.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like celebrating a victory, huh, Michael?
Yeah, it's a perfect day for Sam Hornish, and it makes me happy that we got to be a part of it. It's been a great year, Adam. I appreciate everybody that's a part of the Fox team, and had so much fun.
Been fun with the 2 of you. Thank everybody in the truck, our producer, Pam Miller, Jeremy Green, our director, Rich Gross, RAD, thanks for all your hard work, all the men and women that helped put on NASCAR on Fox. It's been a fun year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Congratulations to Sam Hornish Jr. He wins it at Iowa. It's time to go to Thunder Valley. NHRA starts now on FS1.